when you're ready.
What I look like.
Welcome to Pet Patrol. This is Alan Braslow, your host. And I am very fortunate today to be back again with Dr. Lisa Miller from Paws Mobile Vet. The reason we decided to get together and do this show is Lisa and I were talking about what is taking place with breed-specific legislation, breed prejudice, and a lot of it is a result of what happened over the last month or two up in Montreal, where the town council, without any justification or understanding really of what they did, had passed a ban on any pit bull looking dogs, which define that one for me, and they were going to require them to be euthanized or muzzled, and it was the most illogical thing that we had ever heard. Fortunately, enough people stood up. I know I wrote a letter to the mayor and told him I'll never do business there again unless he wakes up and gets a brain. And a lot of people did the same thing, and they backed off. And we're going to continue to get them to back off permanently. So Lisa and I have been talking about this because her passion, as well as people understanding and making educated decisions, which breed-specific legislation and breed-specific prejudice is not. So with all that said, Lisa, what do you think, and let's talk a little bit about the breed specifics.
Yeah, I mean, well, besides the Montreal thing, I was talking to you earlier in the week. I had a client who, she's elderly. She recently lost her job that she's had for many, many years. She has a new job that she doesn't make as much as she did in her career, and she had to shop around for homeowners insurance. And when they asked on the questionnaire if she had a dog, it was probably saving her like $500–600 a year, this homeowners insurance. And when she said she had a dog, they made her send a picture in, and when she sent the picture in, they said it's a pit bull. So they said, we have to cancel your policy, and she can't afford another policy, And of course I said, why send in that picture? Why just send in that picture? But I don't agree with any of these companies that are doing that. And I wrote a letter saying the dog is listed as a boxer mix. It has characteristics that fit that. That the dog has been a patient of mine for 4 years. It's always had, never had a muzzle. I've seen it in its home. I've seen it at the hospital. I stick it with needles. I've done rectals on it. I've done uncomfortable things and never gotten bit. And I told the lady this letter should be good. I'm saying I've known this dog and it's had no signs of aggression. And they wrote back and said, it looks like a pit bull, and they're canceling the policy. So I wrote a stronger letter saying that, I was going to make sure that everyone I knew that this company breed discriminated, and that if they're going to make her get, if they're going to make her get, the DNA testing, that when it comes out not 100% pit bull, they should pay back the wisdom, the DNA testing.
I like that.
And that, I thought it was horrible that they can't take a reference from a medical professional saying that this pet is, of sound mind and has never caused a problem. And of course I said, like you said, I'm going to make sure everybody knows.
Yeah, which insurance company was this again?
Well, I don't want to mention it because they did write her a letter saying that they will, the second letter worked and they reinstated her policy. Yeah. But, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. And, the first problem is that people need to make educated decisions about the breed that they're adopting, because every breed has different characteristics. A Bichon may not be right for one home, and, a Pit Bull may not be right for another for different reasons, because everybody's lifestyle is different. My family's lifestyle is different than your family's lifestyle, is different than their family's lifestyle.
Right.
That person might have one pet, I might have 8. Certain pets wouldn't be good coming into an 8-pet household as a 5-year-old rescue, whereas another dog might be, or cat or dog or whatever might be great coming into certain situations. So you can't just impulse get a pet, be it a rescue or a pet that you're buying from like a responsible breeder. You can't impulse get a pet because it looks cute. You know, you need to understand the animal and their strengths and their weaknesses, and then your lifestyle and the lifestyle that they require. You know, someone that lives in an apartment that gets a lab that came from like a line that's a working breed, you know, that works 8 hours a day, is going to have major problems with, you know, self-destructive behavior to the pet or its household, or anxieties.
Or
Because
your
they need
office,
to,
or
yeah.
your couches, or things like that.
That's what I mean, like, yeah, like destruction to them, because they need, you know, 2 hours exercise, hard exercise a day, not like a 5-minute walk before and after work and then they're in their crate, you know. And then what happens is rescues get those misplaced dogs because the owners can't take that lifestyle that they put the pet into.
When you were talking about the insurance thing, one of the things that we found, because we have our Don't Bully Us Rescue, pit bulls, they're awesome dogs, totally misunderstood. It's the owners that need to be addressed, for lack of a better term. There are a number of times where apartments will ban certain dogs. I get a kick out of it when they say you can't have a dog in this, or even retirement communities, it's over 35 pounds. And tell me if I'm wrong, but I think there were more dog bites from Chihuahuas and Golden Retrievers individually than all the pit bulls as a group. So here we have apartment owners and associations doing the same thing based on ignorance, just no justification, where they're banning the same thing. And also, as you said, with breed specific and what their characteristics are, I know that with our rescue, what will happen is we go through a 5-page questionnaire and we talk to the individuals. You know, older dog, this is what an older dog requires. Are you prepared to do it? This is what a puppy requires. Right. We've talked a number of people out of adopting the cute little puppy because we explained to them, you will lose woodwork, they chew as a puppy. So
yeah, and I mean that's, you know, those sort of missed decisions or poorly made decisions are what ends up with these stories that make people get like hyped up about, you know, breed discrimination. You know, but, you know, I 100% people need to look at the companies that they're giving their money to, be it homeowners insurance or who you're renting from. And if you disagree with their policies, don't give them your money. You know, like if I disagreed with your candy shop, you know, not giving my kid a free piece of candy when it walked in, you know, and I thought that was awful, I wouldn't go to your candy shop.
Absolutely.
You know, that's simple, but you know, and you also get what you pay for in terms of like I always use the potato chip example. Like, you know, sometimes you buy cheap potato chips versus Pringles or whatever your favorite brand is, and there's a taste difference and a quality difference, and maybe they're greasier, or maybe they're, you get what you paid for. So, but I really think people need to make sure they're giving their money to companies that they support, like the core of the company.
We're going to take a quick break. I have some more questions for Lisa. I also want to share with you some information about some adoptable dogs and how dogs can be misunderstood. This is Pet Patrol, Protector of the Pack. This is Alan Braslow, Dr. Lisa Miller. We'll be back right after this commercial.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.